Hey, good morning, everyone. Michael Fanning, and this is Warm Up 255. And today I want to talk about learning. And one of the things that we know is that if you aren't learning, you aren't living. And if you live life right now with what you just know, you're never going to move forward. If you want to move forward, you got to be able to learn, right? And if you choose to learn, you are unstoppable. But unfortunately, a lot of times we don't take the time to learn. And so I'm passionate about getting new information all the time, and there's phenomenal podcasts out there. So the whole purpose of my warm up this morning is to share with you some of my go-to podcasts that I like to listen to every single morning. And I pick different ones because they always have good content. And then my goal is this, is that if you have great podcasts that you listen to or you're learning a lot, and let me just kind of encapsulate learning in this particular situation is just embetterment, right? How do you become better? How do you help others? How do you grow? I mean, there's a lot of podcasts out there that we listen to that are in the political world. There's a lot of podcasts in all those other areas. I'm not talking about those, and we all have our list of those. I'm talking about the podcast where I learn to become a better human being, right? I have this tattoo right here. It says, be human again, right? That's kind of what I'm talking about, is how do we become human again and really engage and build relationships and learn how to do that more effectively. So the podcast, my kind of go-to podcast, I'm just going to give you a list of them. Here we go. Brand new one that's just out right now by Brene Brown called Dare to Lead. I love that one. Tom Bellew, he has Impact Theory. That's a great one as well. The Brendan Show with Brendan Burchard. He has a really great podcast I like to listen to. Lewis Howes has School of Greatness. School of Greatness is a good one. Jim Quick with Quick Brain. He's got a great podcast. I love Rob Dial's got one called The Mindset Mentor. That's a really good one. We have some real estate agents here that used to be in the radio world. Now they have a phenomenal podcast. I like to listen to their stuff because they stir it up from time to time. It's the Ron and Don Show, and that's with Don O'Neill and Ron Upshaw. We have somebody else who's a dear friend of mine, Tanya and Matt Powell, both of them, and they have a great podcast called Be Well. That's a B-N-W-E-L-L, Be Well. I love Mind Valley with Vishen Lakim. I always get his last name wrong. It's Vishen Lakiani. And he's got, and again, that's called Mind Valley. We got Jocko Willink has a podcast called Jocko Podcast. Checking In with Susan David. She's got a great podcast. Hey, another friend of mine, The Leading Edge by Eric Thompson. Great podcast. And then we have a podcast at Windermere, and we do talk about mostly real estate stuff, but we do talk about epic service and about building a work-life balance, and it's called Ask a Windermere Coach. And then Going 567 with Ryan Muncie. He's the one who wrote the book F Your Feelings, which is a good one. And then I love Hidden Brain, right? Just Hidden Brain has always got great stuff. And then my last one I'm going to put on here is by Jay Shetty. He's got a great podcast. So that's a great list. But here's what I would ask. If you watch this and you go to any of the podcast I mentioned, if you have a great podcast that you love, will you please share it in the comments so that we can all benefit from your knowledge? Because one of the ways we learn is by learning from others, right? My dad would always say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room, right? And remember, I've always often talked about having an anti-fragile ego. If you have an anti-fragile ego, it means that you identify as being a learner. I am a learner, because when I'm a learner, I can be wrong because I don't know enough, and so I can go learn, and so it gives me an anti-fragile ego. All right, everybody, hope that was helpful. That's my list. I would love to hear what you like to listen to. I would love some new ideas, so please, please, please share. And remember, be awesome and help somebody, make it a great day, and vote. All right, everybody, have a good one. Talk to you later.